Last time you were here, made a quick little clip about this great Lotus Exige that we've been working on. So we're back today, and we're doing some great interior carbon bits. I just want to show you guys some really cool dry carbon stuff here. Almost every panel on that car, the customer has brought for us to pretty much replace. These parts come from gregsraceparts.com. So this guy Greg seems to be a pretty big enthusiast. We spoke to him on the phone a couple times already about this project, and he's been very helpful. So shout out to Greg's Parts. If you have a Lotus out there, you need some good parts, check out Greg. Makes some really good stuff. But let's go through some of this carbon stuff. So you see we kind of got everything laid out here. There's going to be some great replacement pieces. Like this would be probably the bottom of the steering column, or maybe the top of the steering column. Then you're going to have a direct replacement in dry carbon, which is pretty amazing. So these parts are definitely a little more lightweight. I mean, I don't know how much in the end it's really going to save, but the whole idea with that car is lightness. So I think it's definitely a really cool mod, right? So we have the gauge cluster bezel, so to speak. It's really nice. If you see the cluster in this car, it's just like a small motorcycle cluster, almost looks like a Hayabusa or something, but it'll fit right in there. So here's the original, as you can see. And I mean, this company just does some great work. I mean, look how the finish is and the fitment. It looks just right. So hopefully these parts, you know, go in easily and everything lines up without any without too much massaging or too much custom stuff here. You could see, like, sometimes these like hand-done tabs and stuff might not be as dead on as the original factory, so there might be a little work we'd have to do. Like you can see right away, like this tab already is kind of at a little different angle than the original, so you know, we'll make it work though. But all in all, some pretty cool parts, man. I like the stuff. Oh yeah, you can see these parts here too. At least, and just look how nice. Very, very cool. Very cool. A lot of times on these carbon pieces you might find like little imperfections and things, but honestly it's kind of cool. It gives it a little character. It shows that it was a craft. It shows that it was handmade. So sometimes, believe it or not, some people actually really appreciate the small blemishes and stuff because it really gives that like bespoke, you know, custom feel. So they're a good piece. Even right here where the carbon lines up, so you have it separated. The weave doesn't match perfect, but it's still kind of nice, you know. It's really cool. We're thinking of these pieces here. So this is going to be obviously your vents, right, for your climate control and your AC and heat. And then on either side in the cockpit, you have the other spots where the vents would be. This would be on the left, right, for ignition. And then there's another one here that would go on the passenger side. So these pieces didn't come in carbon, so the customer said, listen, you know, I want to do something with this stuff also. So we're thinking of maybe doing an Alcantara suede wrap on here. So these pieces would be all wrapped in suede, this part, and then the piece right here, so that it kind of ties the dash together a little bit. I was also thinking if we were going to do suede on this, we would just do like a little white stitching, like a clean line somewhere maybe around it, because if you look in the interior, the center console and the seats actually have some white stitching, so it'll kind of bring everything together. So that should look pretty cool. It's badass. Oh, this is cool. Cigarette lighter.
Hey.
Carbon center console piece. Looks like if you jam something in there too hard, it'll snap right out, so we definitely got to be careful, you know, on that one. But yeah, these parts are just great. It's gonna look great in the interior of this Lotus. Nice, nice. Alright. But yeah, come on over. You can see the boys here with the dash apart. So this is the stitching we were talking about right here. That has that little white accent. So maybe we can recreate that on those other pieces we were looking at. But yeah, super small cockpit. Just made for one thing, and that's driving. There you go. I think you should be on. You changed these too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How was that? Pain in the ass?
It is
Yes.
I want to have almost 2 hours to do one.
To do one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a really beautiful shape. What did you do, on? You had to take out the panel?
No, not really.
No, you can get it actually from right here?
Yeah.
Nice.
But get into it is a fucking
Getting
problem.
to it sucks.
Yeah, it was a fucking mission.
You gotta be careful with this stuff.
Yeah, Tim's been over there wrestling with the door.
Yeah, Tim's been doing great on this project, so it takes his time. You know, think about it 3 times before you pull it off or do whatever you gotta do. Because this car is definitely not the easiest to replace parts or anything, so we want to make sure nothing cracks, nothing scratches, nothing. We've been doing really good so far. Nothing. Yeah, no, you guys are great. So everything looks quite good on this one. Full steam ahead, and the mechanical portion, you know, as far as the exhaust and the headers and stuff, we knocked out already, so that's good. So really now it's just kind of like the beauty portion, like the beauty parts. So it's pretty good. Can't wait to take it for a little test drive. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, oh, that dash piece is nice too, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That full carbon dash, gorgeous. Wow, really nice. Yeah, and on the suede piece might look nice, like right against the carbon like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yes.
Whatever.
You have a little suede on the door.
Yeah.
If you look at that door panel, you see a little bit of suede on it.
Where, up here? Oh, yeah. Yeah, see, like, look, we can just get this idea going. Yeah, here's a little suede. That's nice, because that should butt right up against that other piece, too. That's hot.
Well, that's so this piece here is carbon, and then it's got the insert here is carbon, but the surround is one of the
Right, the surround's black.
Yeah.
So if you were to do that in the suede, it would be pretty good with this. All right, cool. Let's give the customer a call. See what he thinks about that. Alright guys, well, don't put the slap in. Lexus GX470, very popular right now in the overland scene. The GX is so hot right now. Remember Zoolander? So hot right now. Yeah, basically in other countries it's considered like a Prado, right? So these are very, very stout, similar like a 4Runner here or something like that. So these are very popular right now. They're coming up in the overland scene, pretty big. They share a lot of the components with obviously all the other Toyotas, so they got some great parts for these as far as lift kits and wheels and tires and brakes and all that good stuff. So we have the Ironman 4x4 foam cell setup with the foam cell shock absorbers, nice lime green springs, and we're rocking an SPC upper control arm rather than the one that comes with the Ironman kit. Customer would rather the SPC, so we're going for that one. Very important to have the upper control arms on all these Toyota trucks because you want to get your camber correction and your alignment down right. If you're rocking the original one, you're not going to get that alignment correct. I have a lot of customers who come by and say, oh, well, if you're going 2 inches, you don't need it, 2.5, you don't need it. Just get it, because even if, like, let's say you do happen to get your alignment specs right, like, you're kind of maxing this out. And for what you're going to be doing with the truck and what you're building it for, it would be smarter to have a stronger component. So upper control arm, I'm always a big fan of this. We also did lower control arms, which I don't see here. I don't think we did it just yet, but we got a set of OEM Toyota lower control arms to replace just for maintenance. And we're going to be putting that together also. This is going to get a great set of method wheels with a 33-inch Falcon Wild Peak 285 7017. We're also going to be performing a body mount chop. Body mount chop, for all you Toyota people, I'm sure you're very, very familiar with this. On the Toyotas, when you run your plus size tire, your 33-inch tire, right? Your travel is good, right? You always have kind of your vertical clearance, but that horizontal clearance this way, right? You don't have much room here actually. So what ends up happening is when you have the plus size wheels and tires, or just a larger tire, once you turn and you come to full lock on the inside, the tire always ends up kind of rubbing this. And this is the body mount right here, right? So this kind of protrusion right here, this piece of metal, you can actually work this in a way to set it back a little farther and give yourself a little more clearance, just enough to clear the plus size tire. So essentially what you're basically doing is cutting this kind of like corner away to give yourself the clearance. Now obviously you're kind of compromising the rigidity somewhat of this piece for sure, obviously when you chop the end off. So the idea is to now, you know, we fabricate, we'll just kind of make a nice piece of metal here and make it work. Some companies actually sell the metal tab, but it's pretty simple to mock up. So what we'll do is we'll make another reinforcement, we'll actually weld it in at an angle where, well, kind of flat so it doesn't poke out and it just gives you that rigidity back. but at the same time, it gives you the space that you need. Usually undercoat it up, paint it, looks really good. So anybody who's doing 33s on these Toyota trucks, 4Runner, the GX470, even Tacomas, FJ Cruiser, I recommend the body mount chop. We do them here at the shop. We do them super clean, so hopefully we can get it done, and then you get you guys some results. So that's definitely a must for 33s. Very important. It's a little forum, little hack right there, you know? Everybody who comes in here is like, yo, you got your body mount chop? You gotta sharpen this knife, dude.
I think we're doing some work.
They say a sharp knife is a safe knife. Did you know that?
You mean a dull knife is a safe knife?
So what?
A dull knife is a safe knife or a sharp knife?
No, a sharp knife is a safe knife.
Is it though?
Yeah, because if you have a dull knife, you're putting more of your weight and strength into the blade rather than having the blade do the work itself, right? So there's a chance of you slipping or
snapping.
overextending, hitting yourself. So you want to kind of always be away, I guess.
Didn't even think about that.
But they say that a sharp knife is actually the safest knife to have.
Never thought about that.
Anyway, we just got a great package here from our buddies at Alea Leather. And these are some new seat skins for the Wrangler JL. So if you guys have been watching, hopefully you have. We've been working on a red Wrangler JL. And he recently ordered some interiors, so these are really cool. So this is Alea Leather, and I believe this is called the Raging Bull style interior. So maybe it has a little Lamborghini reference or some Robert De Niro reference or something. Either way, nice thing is about these skins, when you order them, you can either order them in like a entry-level kind of leather, or you can get them in something called Napa leather. So this is way higher quality leather, maybe something you would find in like certain BMWs or Mercedes-Benz. So this is pretty nice. The Wrangler we're doing it for is for our buddy George. You guys have seen him in the past episodes. It's a red JL Wrangler with big wide wheels, so this should look right at home on the interior. He's gonna come by tomorrow, and we're gonna get these done. So what happens with this is we're actually going to unskin or remove the cloth from the factory seats, and we're going to reskin the factory seats with these. So this is not technically a seat cover. It's not really going over the original upholstery. It's actually replacing the upholstery. But the factory cushioning and the heated seats and all the power stuff like that will all be retained and stay the same. We do get a lot of older models. For instance, our buddy Will with his Land Cruiser, which you guys have seen in past episodes as well, his LC80 97 Land Cruiser. We recently did some great seat covers, or skins rather, I should say, for that one too. And since it was an older vehicle, he needed a little more cushion too, so we were able to add material and add cushion to the seating to bump it up a little bit. And then we just wrapped it up with some fresh skins. So older or newer vehicle, we got you covered, but these are pretty sweet. Nice, those are dope. Let's see the headrest. All right, this is probably like the armrest. Feel it, isn't that nice?
Ooh,
Supple,
damn.
supple. Very cool. And you can get like certain embroidery if you want. If you want to put like Rubicon or something, or you know, someone's name or a team or something, you can do it. I think that's it. The back and the seat portion are the same. So pretty cool. You know, not bad.
Those are heat.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We get a lot of customers that, you know, just have cars that come with cloth or something, like a Honda Accord or something like that, and they just want to upgrade. And they might not even do a design. They just want like straight black leather or straight tan leather. So you can even do that, just something like OEM Plus. But that truck, you know, that we're doing this for is a little more custom, so it should look quite right. Yeah, here's the schematic.
Oh, they laminate that bitch?
Pretty sweet.
God damn.
Four-door Rubicon JL.
Oh, that's some quality.
That's right. Quality
Dude,
stuff.
that's sick.
Yeah. They'll email you like 2-3 times if you can confirm, because like you're dead to rights on this stuff. You know what I mean? You know, if you order them and I don't know, the seat has airbags and you ordered a version that doesn't have airbags, doesn't work correctly, you know, you're beat. So you got to make sure you know the makeup of the car before you do this, because I've been in that situation a few times. One time I ordered it for a F-150. Oh man, and the rear seats did like a 60-40 split. I don't know, there was some other option where it was just like, I don't know, some shit. I fucked it up. And yeah, I still have those seats, so still got them in the back.
If you guys want to come pick them up, DM us, please.
Yeah, exactly. Good price, you know? The wheel and tire setup for the Lexus GX behind us. Beautiful method wheel. I believe this is a 704 or 703. I'm not sure. I'll check it out for you guys. But this is a 33-inch Falcon Wild Peak on here, 285/70/17. It's kind of the go-to size for the Toyota trucks with this amount of lift, so it should work out just right. Really clean. I like the side profile too. Really nice, right? Takes the factory tire pressure sensor, so you're good to go. Nice, strong, clean wheel. I like their line. I like Method's line of wheels. All their stuff is very clean, very minimalist look. So whether they're dirty or clean, it always looks just right. And there's no like fake bead lock stuff going on. There's no like dual drill. Just a nice, solid, clean wheel that's you know, made for the trails. So I can definitely appreciate that. I like this stuff a lot. If I didn't do the Enki wheel on my truck, I would probably have done the Method wheel as well. But you know me, I like switching my wheels, so we'll see what happens. So, as you guys know, the Lexus GX470 comes with factory rear air suspension. So when you're doing an overland build and you're doing a lift kit, you're obviously going to remove those and replace them with the coil springs and the shocks that we have here. So removing them is not too bad. You got to make sure you get an adapter kit. We have a nice adapter kit from Iron Man. I believe Metal Tech 4x4 also makes this adapter kit, but what it does is when you remove the factory bag, the adapter kit gives you all like OEM spring perches and everything so that the coil spring can sit right in there. So yeah, now the air suspension is cool, but obviously in an off-road scenario, you would just want coil and spring. A lot of people have been scoring these trucks on a good price because sometimes people who have owned them previously might have problems with the air suspension. It's very costly to repair, so they can kind of let the truck go for a little cheaper, you know, and the incentive of having to have the air suspension fixed. But most customers, at least that come through here, are going to build this truck up for off-roading, so to them, they'll love to buy it with blown air suspension, save a couple bucks, do a nice Iron Man lift just like this.
And then the screw here, so you know your mark. Where you put it and you line up.
He's right. The man knows. That'll work. So that inverter, we're trying to get the customer brought us his power inverter. He has a second battery in the car. He wants us to, he physically just has a second battery sitting in the engine bay. That's it. It's not hooked up to anything. It's kind of just like dropped in there. So we're gonna try to make maybe a battery tray to prop it up right, and we're gonna wire that second battery actually as a second battery. So after that's all done, this power inverter, the customer brought us as well, he wants that run to the second battery. Problem is that power inverter is like massive. So the idea is normally there's like a storage tray or a storage panel here, and wanted to see if we can fit it inside there. The thing is too big. So the idea now is he was just like, listen, just put it outside of the panel, just right on the side of the panel here. I was gonna even put it here and make like a cool little cover or something and wrap it in carpet so it looks fresh, but he's gonna be putting a sleeping platform, so I can't put anything on the ground. So the only bed is kind of just to slap it right here. So that's what he wants to do, and the idea is, you know, you're not obviously gonna take this power inverter, 2-3 pound power inverter, and just kind of like screw it through a plastic panel. You have to make some kind of support in the back. So these guys are going to do a nice piece of wood in the back so that you can actually sandwich the panel between the inverter and the wood, and it'll sit there with some good rigidity. So that's the idea. So behind me, G Wagon G500, 2008, owned by a great customer of ours. Body needs a little love, but the motor and drivetrain is very strong. So we figured, you know what, let's put a couple bucks into this. Cool thing about the G Wagon is, you know, there's so many years that they kind of all look very similar. So, you know, if you have maybe an 08 or a little older model and you modify it, it can look pretty updated. So that's exactly what we're doing with this G Wagon. So you know, definitely stay tuned on the next couple episodes. You know, coming up, we're going to be talking a little more about this and just showing you some more of the modifications, because this is a very long-term project. It's going to be at the shop for a few months, and we're going to finish it up. So one of the coolest parts about it, we're going to be doing a Japanese walled wide body kit, a set of Boston wheels, a lift kit, some all-terrain tires, side pipe exhaust. But right now, we're starting out with a big brake kit. Now these are OEM brakes from Mercedes-Benz. They're used on the G63 AMG, and we are fitting them to the G500. So check them out. Pretty sweet. Nice 6-piston caliper, fully powder coated. And again, these are all straight from the dealer, which is cool. Now, this should bolt up pretty direct on the G500. The only thing is in the front, we did have to get a custom bracket, and what that bracket does is it takes the caliper and it moves it farther away because the rotors are way larger, so you need to reposition the caliper. So stuff is going to be cross-drilled and slotted, vented, all from the factory. So it should look quite nice when it's on this G Wagon. But in the end, this G Wagon is going to look like absolutely awesome. It's going to go from like 0 to hero kind of thing, so we're excited. We did bring it to the local body shop 2 blocks up, Central Collision. They took care of a lot of body work that the truck needed. If you see, like, the quarter panels have a lot of body filler, even the roof line, the hood itself is kind of fully redone. So, you know, it's going to come back from the dead, but in the end, this truck is going to look A1. Oh, not to mention, we're going to do some great carbon fiber work on the interior, so some of the dashboard panels, the center console, even the steering wheel is all going to be carbon fiber, so stay tuned for that. Definitely stay glued to the channel if you want to see some cool G-Wagon stuff. The chassis code for the G-Wagon is the W463 for you Benz heads out there. Very nice.
You don't drink, so what does you have this for? You only sitting on it, you gotta put your beer, you gotta put your cooler, you gotta...
Wait, you can only get that chair if you drink?
Yeah.
I mean, it has a cup holder.
Man's chair, right?
No.
It has a cup holder, so it kind of is made for drinking.
It's true. It doesn't necessarily be alcohol. Also, the thing on the side is...
I got my ice cooler here, put beer, put your cooler.
Okay, this is a drinking. This is a drinking chair. It's a drinking chair.
No.
He was right. He's smart.